After a 2-game hiatus over in London, the Jaguars are back in Jacksonville. Colts versus Jaguars for first place in the AFC South. Let's get it. Now, shout out to this video sponsor, BetUS. Guys, the Jaguars are 4-point favorites this game. The Jaguars are 3-2 against the spread this year. And if you think that the Jaguars are going to win this game, then you might as well put some money on the spread, because when the Jaguars win, they are undefeated against the spread. So they have that over there for you guys. But really, there's all different kinds of stuff you can do at BetUS, whether it is like first half points or first score of the game. There's really a lot of different, wagers you guys can put over there, and it's a lot of fun over there, and might as well do it on the industry's best sports gambling site. Now, they are very generous, where if you use my link down below, they'll 125% bonus your first deposit. So if you put down $100, you're going to see $225 show up in your account. So shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on to this preview. Now, this is a huge opportunity for the Jaguars, but before I get into my side of it, I have Derek from the Bring the Juice podcast over here to kind of explain things from the Colts point of view. So let's listen.
Hello, what's going on, everybody? This is Derek Larger from the Bring the Juice Colts podcast. Just here doing a quick little preview here for UCF Jaguar and you guys. So obviously, you as Jags fans know about the Indianapolis Colts. We obviously played each other week 1. The Jaguars got the better end of the Indianapolis Colts during that matchup. But what a lot of you may not know is that the Indianapolis Colts have won 3 of their last 4 games after that week 1 matchup against the Jaguars. Their only loss coming off of an overtime loss to the Los Angeles Rams. So overall, this year has been a very pleasant surprise for the Indianapolis Colts. There's been a lot of ups and downs, primarily with the starting quarterback, Anthony Richardson, who has dealt with several injuries so far this year. But obviously, that has not slowed down the Indianapolis Colts. They've continued to win games. It has been really awesome, to say the least, for the Indianapolis Colts. And what I really liked about this team, especially even after just watching a couple games, has really been the drastic difference in how this team plays. There's definitely a difference in the power and the speed and the willingness to compete with this team versus what it was last year, when the team had all these expectations and they weren't meeting them, and they were drastically underperforming. This year, they were expected to underperform, and now they are overperforming with everything that is going on. They have they're having really good offense. The offensive line has been great, and I really like that. We've been able to run the football. We've been able to move offensively and defensively. Things have continued to progress. Overall, what I really love about the Indianapolis Colts is what Shane Steichen has brought to the team. There's definitely a new balance in how the team is operating. There's a new sense of competitiveness and accountability in the building. And I think it's very similar to what the Jaguars felt when Doug Peterson came into the building. It's pretty much the exact same thing that Shane Steichen is doing for the Indianapolis Colts right now. They really feel like they can beat anyone, despite all the limited expectations that were put on this team going into it. Some of the weaknesses that we have seen so far through the Indianapolis Colts, obviously the injury to the quarterback thing has kind of made the things go up and down a lot of different ways, but it really hasn't impacted how the Colts are able to move the ball. Shane Steichen has done a really great job of having a game plan for multiple different quarterbacks going into this year. I would say so far, when it comes to one of the bigger weaknesses on the offense has just been not many wide receivers have really stepped up and have set themselves apart from the pack. Josh Downs had a really great week last week, but again, that was just last week. And then, of course, Michael Pittman, who we all presume is our number 1 going into it, he still hasn't had a game where he's taken over the competition. So, it's been a lot of one guy does it here, one guy does it here. And then the bottom half of the wide receiver group really hasn't done much. Alec Pierce has really hurt himself with not really getting involved in the offense. So that's been a weakness for the Indianapolis Colts. Another weakness for the Indianapolis Colts, it's been up and down when it comes to stopping the run game. That's been the biggest one. I think our corners have really gained a lot of confidence in themselves since the beginning part of the season. Juju Brent's out there, the rookie corner we drafted. He's gotten a lot of great experience now. So I'm not too worried about our corners. It's more about stopping the run. And obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars definitely try to establish a run game with Travis Etienne as well. And then as far as confidence in Gardner Minshew, that was the other thing you wanted me to talk about. Gardner Minshew, I have a lot of confidence in. He does have a differing skill set to Anthony Richardson, and he may be a guy that may not quite be able to throw the ball as deep as what Anthony Richardson typically does. But Gardner Minshew, again, has been around this league for quite a while. I mean, Jags fans know him well. I mean, he's got great charisma. He's a very smart dude, very dedicated dude. He loves football. He has all the fire in the world to go out there and, being under Steichen, and he played with Steichen in Philadelphia for a few years. The guy knows the system. The guy works very hard, and I'm not too worried about him. I have a lot of confidence that whatever game plan Shane Steichen throws out there against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Gardner Minshew will be able to exploit it, will be able to understand it, and certainly hope that he will be able to get the job done. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoy. And as always, go Colts.
So huge shout out to him, man. Definitely sub up their channel over there. I'll put that link down below. Now, last week was a big opportunity for the Jaguars against the Bills. It was an opportunity for the Jaguars to really show that, look, we're a legit threat in the NFL. And the Jaguars went there and took care of business, although it doesn't feel like the Jaguars have got that respect because it's jet lag. The Bills did this, kind of more so feels like national media is saying the Bills lost that one, but we're over it. We're on to next week. Now, this one is a big opportunity because first place in this game is in sole ownership of first place in the AFC South, as the Jaguars and Indianapolis Colts are both 3-2 going into this game, and the Texans and Titans are each 2-3. So huge opportunity in that sense. Now, the Colts are actually a much better team than we initially thought. Since the Jaguars won week 1, they have been 3-1 since. Their only loss going in overtime against the LA Rams. So what do we know right now? I think the main takeaway I've taken from the Colts this year is that Shane Steichen seems to be a really good head coach. Really, when I look at the way he does with Anthony Richardson, I mean, he knows how to use Anthony Richardson at his strengths and also allow him to play the kind of football that's best for Anthony Richardson. Like right now, there's some things that he may not be the best at, and he's not throwing it all out there for Anthony Richardson. But, since he's been in there, he's been able to kind of be pretty good. Now, they also have a really good defensive line. I mean, DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart were very, very hard for us last time we played against them. And I will say the quarterback situation for them is very weird. Anthony Richardson got the week 1 start. However, Anthony Richardson, 4 out of his 5 games, and 4 out of the first 5 games of the year, he hasn't finished the game. You know what I mean? He initially got knocked out of the Jaguar game because he was being evaluated for a concussion. He came back and the next week actually got a concussion, sat out a couple games, and then the game that he just came back in, he suffered a shoulder grade 1, grade something AC sprain, I don't know, something in the shoulder where he's pretty banged up enough to where he actually got put on the 4-game IR. So, he'll be out at least 4 games, maybe up to 8 games. Really just a tough injury for him, man, because, when you look at the Colts right now, like this season isn't even all about wins and losses. Like I could probably talk to an honest Colts fan and ask them, would you rather go 9-8 with Gardner Minshew, or would you rather go 5-12 with a fully healthy year from Anthony Richardson? they're probably taking the 5-12 because at this point, this year is all about developing the quarterback and then developing the quarterback where he gets rid of all his, his rookie pains, his mistakes, learns a bunch of stuff, and then going into next year, they can compete for a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But now with him getting hurt, you're in a situation where, he's not going to learn when he's not playing. Look, maybe they learn, different game plans and stuff like that, but you're only really going to learn if you play. And unfortunately for Anthony Richardson, he is hurt. And this is a knock from him coming out of college. It's very strange because when you look at the way he went down against the Titans, it didn't even look like it was all that out of the ordinary. It looks like running backs get tackled like that every week, but maybe there's just a turn he should have done. I don't know, but for a big dude, a big athletic dude like him, it's just strange that he gets really injured so easily. So yeah, so right now, with that said, with Anthony Richardson out, we have our good old friend Gardner Minshew coming back in town. That'll be fun. I feel a lot better this game with Minshew as a starting quarterback than Anthony Richardson, just because Anthony Richardson can do everything. You know what I mean? Anthony Richardson can run the ball. He can make all the different throws. And the scary thing about him is that he could be getting better every week to all of a sudden, could you be the breakout game? Could you be the CJ Stroud game where they put the NFL on notice? Now, for Anthony Richardson, he won't get the opportunity to do that. But with Minshew, he is pretty limited in what he can do. Now, that's not to say that he's a bad quarterback, but he doesn't have the arm strength. He is very, very uncomfortable in the pocket. If you collapse the pocket and he feels that pocket collapsing, he's going to look all around, scramble all around. I always looked at it as like, it was like, just like kind of like Pong, like he's bouncing all around the pockets. Like he leaves pockets early. He just gets very uncomfortable in the pocket. And just force him to throw some balls outside, man. That's the big thing with him is like he, like I said, lacks arm strength, so he can't get the ball out there on as much as a zip as otherwise. However, he is a very efficient quarterback. When you look at his numbers, after the game, it'll be like, holy crap, this guy threw for like 80% this game. It didn't even feel like it. Because, look, this guy, if he's not getting pressured, he can go in there and wheel and deal on a defense, pick apart his zone. He's smart enough to do that. You know what I mean? He's not a bad quarterback, but I mean, you guys all know me. I've always been quite Gardner Minshew hater. I think he's one of the most overrated players, quarterbacks, or players in general to ever play for our fan base. I just thought that we were so bad at the time he was here. With Jalen Ramsey leaving, he was really the only bright spot, and it was like a spark for us. So then Foles came back in there, then he was just a mess. And, I thought Gardner Minshew is a little bit overrated, but that's just my opinion. You guys can have yours. I know a lot of people out there are going to be aggressively typing in the comments. Look, whatever. You guys have your opinions. I have my opinions. You guys can determine whether they stink or not. But yeah. So the big thing that's interesting about this one is what's the running back situation going to be? Jonathan Taylor a week ago signed a contract extension, a 3-year deal, got a pretty good amount of money from the Colts and came back from the injury sheet. However, he only had 6 carries for 18 yards, while Zach Moss put up 23 carries for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Zach Moss was on fire. You wonder if they, with those numbers, they say, maybe we don't need to rush Jonathan Taylor back as quick as we'd like. So maybe they keep him around. So that's a big thing, going into this one is I wonder what the splits will be. Now, for the Jaguars, the injury report is honestly a positive. Look, we all got a little bit worried last week. Walker Little and Zay Jones were both avoided major injuries. They're noted as day-to-day. I just hope that they don't rush them back too early like it feels like they did with Zay Jones. Just get them healthy and let them come back. Cam Robinson dealt with an elbow. He's going to be fine. And look, DeJuan Smoot and Hamilton are back to practice. Awesome stuff. Could be some help coming on a defensive line, which the Jaguars, I'll say this, they could definitely use. I'll leave it at that. Now, offensive strategy. Look, we're throwing out whatever we were doing weeks 1 through week 4, even like week 5. Look, this is the offensive strategy from here on out, okay? This is my offensive strategy if I'm Press Taylor. Throw early, throw often, and let Trevor cook. Look, we need to stop with this 1st and 10 draw, 2nd and 8, single back set, handoff to ETN, allowing us to get into these 3rd and 6 situations. No, we have an elite quarterback. Trevor is great when he gets in his rhythm. We have pass catchers, man. Kirk catches everything. Ingram's reliable. Calvin Ridley is out there doing his thing now. Let the receiving game cook, and that's how you're going to establish the run. Look, establish the run through the pass. When we're throwing it all the way out here, they're going to be on their heels, and all of a sudden Travis Etienne's going to punch them in the mouth. Once we're running the ball, we set up play actions when we're up 8 points. That's how it's going to go, okay? I'm tired of this cute little thing like Blake Bortles is our quarterback again, okay? It's not the situation. So, yeah, that's the thing. And look, the offensive line might be a little weak. It's still weak, especially with Walker Little potentially missing. So, yeah, there's a chance he doesn't play. So we're going against a tough defensive line. Keep on moving the pocket. Trevor's pretty good against Gus Bradley's defense. Last 3 games, he scored 24 points, 27 points, and then most recently 31 points. So, Trevor Lawrence can pick apart a zone. I'll just say that. So, defensively, I just say Mike Caldwell, just keep doing your thing, man. I mean, 4 out of 5 games have been really good coming from him. Pressure Minshew, make him uncomfortable, and look, the game can unravel quickly if Gardner Minshew is not playing good. Like, we've all seen that. We even saw that last year for the Eagles. So, continue to get pressure on him and make him uncomfortable. And look, there's a lot at stake on this game. First of all, I can't go without mention the winning streak at home. Colts haven't won here since 2014. To put that in reference, Chad Henne started that game. The Colts went through the whole entire Blake Bortles era without even defeating him in Jacksonville. And then obviously the Foles and Minshew, and even since Trevor Lawrence came over, they haven't won in Jacksonville, no matter how lopsided the matchups has been, mostly in the Colts' favor. So continue that streak. Look, and the most important thing is, man, first place in the AFC South all by themselves if you win this game. There's no tiebreaker crap. There's no, there's 2, 3, and 2 teams. What does this do? No, you're all alone in first place. So that one will be huge. And also, you'd be 2-1 in the division. Now, the division is very important, especially when it comes to, AFC playoff seedings. Now, the division record is not going to matter against like the Chiefs and the Bills because there's been head-to-head matchups. But if we're in a situation where, say, like the Chiefs lock up the number 1 seed, and then, we're looking for the number 2 seed, we don't play head-to-head against the Miami Dolphins. So it could come down to division record, and we need to win these division games because the Dolphins already have a division loss, but they play probably tougher teams. They play the Bills twice, already lost to them once. The Jets, who knows if they can have any bit of a resurgence. So, yeah, that'll be huge, for playoff seeding. Hopefully we make it that far. Now, my prediction, I predict the Jaguars to win and cover the 4 points. I just think that the Jags are a better team than the Colts. We have the winning streak in play. The defense is playing really well, and Minshew just he's not great in these kind of situations, I don't think. And especially, I'm glad that I feel more comfortable knowing that we're playing against Minshew than if we're scouting against Anthony Richardson. He gets hurt first play, and then Minshew goes in there because I think that's when Minshew thrives the most. But right now, there's so much tape on him. They know what to do. There's going to be a good game plan in play, and hopefully the Jaguars win. And if we win, we're 4-2 for the first time since 2007. That's been a long time, so a lot at stake. Now, I will say, first game of the year, I won't be streaming. I'll be in Pensacola for a wedding, so I apologize for that, guys, but I will be, coming out with a recap video, and it'll be a good time. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like for me. Subscribe if you're new. On the road to 18,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can hit that pretty soon. But thanks, guys, for watching. Go Jags.